Can you imagine earning a Guinness World Record just so you could raise money for a cause? Mike Sheehy tells us in this video how he ran from San Diego all the way to Phoenix to raise money for his friend who had leukemia. Then he doubled it by running again for the record, the Guinness World Record, and he raised even more money to fund LLS. Thanks for watching. So we're with Mike Sheehy today, and we're going to hear a lot about how he has supported the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society through runs, including even breaking a Guinness World Record so that he could find a way to bring more monies to the cause of finding cures for cancer. So Mike, tell me your story. How'd you get involved in LLS? How did you get to run so much for this?
My office, where I spend most of my life, I had a coworker who got sick. And so everyone in the office knew I was a runner, and so one night it was hatched at a bar. Hey, you know what we should do? We should join team in training. You got to remember, I run a fair bit of marathons, and for me it was always interesting.
So you'd already been a marathon?
Yeah, I had been running marathons and some longer races, but it was brought to me from my friends at the office. Mike, you run, we'll raise money. And so it seemed like a great idea. And then, I went to the first intro meeting, and that was probably the scariest thing in the world because you really saw a bunch of people passionate about finding a cure for leukemia and lymphoma. And I had no experience of that. So like I said, a little nervous because I knew how to run marathons and all that fuel stuff, but I didn't understand what the whole Leukemia and Lymphoma Society was about. And so over the next season, or that first season for me with leukemia and lymphoma, I learned tons. I learned that a lot of folks in the world are impacted by leukemia and lymphoma, a lot more folks than you would ever guess. There is much more than just my friend who was impacted. There were brothers and sisters, moms and dads, even little kids were impacted with leukemia and lymphoma. And for me, that became such an important lesson for me because, I just had that single-minded focus, like a lot of us do. But at the end of it, I learned from all my fellow runners and walkers. It wasn't about pace, it wasn't about placing, it wasn't about your 100th marathon or your first marathon. It was about doing it for someone out there.
Well, tell me a little bit about you went and took not just doing the single run, that first run, you really expanded much beyond where anyone else has ever gone to raise more money and to raise, well, really putting yourself out there.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of folks that raise a ton of money, so I mean, I can never say I raised the most, but it was fun to kind of come with unique ideas. But the great thing was the North County group I was running with here in San Diego, there are a lot of creative people, and a lot of passionate people, and when we were struggling to find new and unique ideas, it was great to get a bunch of friends together and to brainstorm and come up with ideas. And the first one we came up with was the run from San Diego to Phoenix in 2010 for 17 days to run an ultramarathon every day. But along the way, to stop and visit hospitals, visit people at their homes, and to even some research facilities. But the great thing was we had someone run with me every day, and it could have been a mile, it could have been 5-10 miles, but we didn't want it to be the Mike Sheehy show, and it was very important for all of us to make it as inclusive as possible on the way to Phoenix. And so we did a great thing of getting a lot of folks from the North County team involved, and there are some really phenomenal runners out there. But it wasn't just the runners that were great, it were the folks that drove out in the middle of nowhere to hand us a check and to run just 2 miles with me.
All right.
It was those kind of things, or to stay in a hotel and people hear what we're doing and to stop one of the members on the team and hand them a check or just hand them cash. It was that kind of stuff that we realized that getting out and getting the word out there is really important.
And what's this Guinness record that you're going for?
So at the end of running all the way to Phoenix, when we got to Phoenix, one of the folks on my team, she was kind of handling all the communication logistics. She got a call from the Guinness folks because we'd reached out to them before to see if there's any record we were breaking. And they called her back and they said, no, your guy's not breaking any record, but there is a record out there for the most miles run in 7 days. In June of 2010, we were able to figure out how to do that, and we broke the Guinness World Record. It was set at 350. We put it at 408. And that same week, we raised $50,000 for LLS. And again, it was a great team effort, and one of those things that will always be in my heart, one of the best things that I've ever achieved due to the fact of the benefits of it.
Right. Mike, thank you for the time.
Thanks.
This has been really good.
Appreciate it.
You can join in the effort to stop cancer today. Just click on the red donate button below or go to steveforthecure.org. Your money goes directly to research to kick cancer to the curb and for patient care. Thank you for your generous support.